Guys, you're welcome back into Nessa's Fantasy. If you're stopping by for the very first time, you're highly welcome into my channel. In today's video, I'll be telling you some tips or some tactics you're going to secure your job. That is, if you've gotten the job already, you can still get fired. So I'm going to be telling you some little things you should keep in mind when you get this job, or let me say the necessary things you should have when you get this job. Number one, anyways, I'm not going to give you all the details. Before giving you all the details, you have to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my video, share, and subscribe if you haven't. So let me go straight to the point. Number one, if you're working in a company and you don't want to lose that job, you have to normally obey the rules and regulation of the company. And let's say you try to obey everything that they say. Do it. They say come on time. You try to come on time, because there are little things that they will be seeing and they'll just be looking at it, and you will just see a day they will just terminate you. You don't know what you have done. So I know sometimes we can also do one or two crazy things, but you should try to obey the rules and regulation of this company. Now when you do this, you have a long opportunity for you to stay, especially if you know, if you're working, you have a particular a tax that you want to fulfill. Let's say for me, I have a tax that, okay, by the end of the year I have to buy maybe two pieces of lands. So I have to be so obedient. I have to do my things the right way so that I don't get fired from my job, you see. And then the next thing is the upper hand. Like when I talk about the upper hand, is the management. Try as much as possible not to always have conflict with the manager. Now a lot of Africans who want to challenge, and you know, when the manager talks or your supervisor, you want to like talk back and so. When you come here, just mellow, just be like a fool. Like even if they're saying something that you know that you can say something and they're talking and maybe your point of view is not matching, just be like a fool, because you know what you have to achieve. Just achieve that thing and you leave. Don't come like you want to challenge, because this is not our country. We are coming here to come and hustle, so you should just obey whatever they are saying. This is when it comes to the company's affair. For example, I cannot tell if the manager says go and let's sleep together. Of course, I'm not going to tell you to do this because it is not in your contract. This is not what you sign up for. But anything work related, you should at least do it so that you don't get any conflict with them, because the manager has a higher possibility of sacking you in that company, because the boss is employing the manager, because the manager is like the eye, the ear, the nose, and everything in the company. He or she sees whatever we are doing, whatever you are doing. So the manager has the upper hand. So when the manager speaks to you and maybe you always fight with the manager can just be like, okay, I'm tired, I cannot continue with this type of person, and you get fired. So this is the second thing. You should always try to obey the rules and regulations when it comes to the timing, what they say in the company. Just try to obey it. It's going to take you a long way. That's what people have a target. If you don't have a target, okay, you can come and be fighting to the manager, be quarreling with the boss, and be saying whatever and say they'll fire you, and you're like, okay, nothing will happen. For me, I'm the first daughter, I'm the first child, so I try to work hard because I need to support my siblings, I need to support my family one way or the other. So I have a target. I cannot just be doing crazy things and I lost the job. There are no, first of all, jobs in Bahrain right now. It's not easy to get the job, to see job. So I just have to be doing the things that they want me to do and be respectful and just, try to cooperate with them. This is going to help me for a long run. And we'll talk about the punctuality. You have to be punctual. If they tell you have to come to work at this time, make sure you're at work at this time, because little things, can also get you into these kind of problems. And another thing is sincerity. You should try your possible best to be sincere with your maybe your boss, your management. If things are not moving well, you should be very open enough to tell them that these things, that the way this thing is going, you should bring it in a diplomatic way, that you guys are not going to quarrel. There will be no issue. You see, there'll be no issue. You people will have a mutual understanding. So this is another point when it comes to getting or securing your job. Now another thing I want to talk about, and most especially, is respecting one another. For example, is respecting one another, respecting your colleagues. You have senior colleagues. Like for me personally, I have senior colleagues who have been here for years, and I try to avoid them. Not like avoiding, I try to avoid their problems. One thing you should also know is that your colleagues are not your friend. Your colleagues are your colleagues. They are not your friends. Unless you choose to take one as your friend, but your colleagues are not your friend. Your colleagues are your working partner, okay? You work with them. So if you try to once share information and things, that solely depends on you. But one thing you should put in your mind is that your colleagues are not your friends. They are like your working partner. You work with them. So if you're doing something, you should not say, oh, my colleague is going to cover for me, and so, because you can never tell who is who. You cannot read the mind of people. You can be smiling with somebody, and deep behind, the person can, maybe you can do an error, and you're expecting that this colleague is going to talk to you and try to correct you, but they go and report to the boss or to the management, means they are trying to jeopardize your job. They're trying to make a way that they can fire you, because there's no reason why a colleague will go and report you. Hi. So if a colleague is going to your boss and telling them, because what I think is, or what I have noticed is, Africans don't like to work with Africans. They try to spoil their reputation. You work with your African brother or your African sister, and you're expecting that if something happens, he or she is going to cover you up. But these are the same people who try to stab you at the back. This is just how life is. You better accept it. So if you're coming into the Middle East, or you're traveling to any country and you're working with Africans, you should just be one step ahead. I mean, if you're eating with a long spoon, because you cannot know who is who. You cannot read the hearts of humans. You just have to be extra careful and do your job and go home. Life continues. So this is another part. If you want to secure your job and you want to last in that company, make sure that you have there's a level of respect between you and your colleagues, because there's some colleagues that also have an upper hand to make sure that you fight. They can even set you up. A colleague can even set you up. But if you avoid them, their issues, you don't meddle, you don't look for trouble, you don't shout, you don't, I mean, talk to them in a kind of unpleasant way, your stay there can be very helpful. So these are little tactics that we should, if you don't know, these are little things that if you don't know, you get yourself into problem. Another important thing is hygiene. Arab people like people who smell good. They like people who smell good. And here in the Middle East, they have strong, good perfumes that you can spray. And even if you don't want to spray it, there's this roll on. Like I said in my former video, you have your roll on. Or for me, I use my deodorant. You can buy your deodorant. Arabs like people who smell good. This if you start smelling bad, this can be another thing where they can sack you. Sincerely. I worked in my former company. There was a lady who was working there. She came and she was working. She's my same nationality, so it's like she didn't have a good body smell. Yeah, but I didn't notice it because I felt like, okay, maybe she's sweating, and after that, so my boss was, he was so open to me, he was so relaxed with me. He called me and told me that, Vanessa, this girl does not smell well. Can you talk to her? Maybe she needs to shower 2 times a day. Maybe she needs to use roll on and so on. Some people don't know that they have this, but people who know, they try to work on it. So other people like you to smell well, smell good. If you're going to work, take your deodorant, spray. You have a small spray in your bag, very little. When I mean very little, I have this small spray. It's my back all the time. If I'm going out, if I'm going to work, when I just close, and I feel like I'm a bit sweaty, I can go to the washroom and try to wipe and then take some spray and just spray. Let me just be smelling good. Because when you have gone, you have worked, and you're like, let's say you're under pressure, you're going to be smelling bad. And they don't like people who smell bad. They always like people smelling good. So this is another thing that can just, you will just see one day, you just fire, you don't even know what you did. You don't even know what you did. So sometimes when you sit there, they just like make smell if it's smelling well or not. Because these are little tactics, these are little things that can terminate you, can make your boss to terminate you. So just do these things to keep your job. If you have a target, you will know how to handle a job. But if you don't have a target, if you're this kind of person that just want to work and eat, then you would literally not care. But if you have a plan, you have a focus, you have a target, by this time I need to do this, by this time I need to do this, you will do your possible best so you don't get terminated from your job. Termination is when your boss fire you. Resignation is when you sign and say you don't want to work again. So there's a difference. If you resign, there are some advantages. If you are terminated, there's even a way that they can even block you, don't even work in different places. Because in Arabic countries, just the Arabic language now, when this person call, this one was like this, it was very bad, it was not good, if they give bad remarks, kalas. But if you are the person who resign and you have been doing a very pleasant, good job, trust me, I'm going to get another job somewhere. Like I always quote the example of my former company. My former company shut down. It shut down. I was neat, trying to be clean, try to organize, try to do things that I know that my boss love. When our company shut down, he recommended me to his other friend to go and work there. When I went there for interview, his friend said, I don't want anything, I don't want your CV. They already told me everything about you. I just wanted to come and start working. So that was like a blessing to me, because I was doing what he wanted. Had it been, I would have been like stubborn, we're always querying and stuff. He will not even care. His shop is closed. What do you want him to do? He will not even care. So these are also things you should keep in mind. Hygiene, keeping it your hygiene is first, punctuality, try to be respectful to your staffs and to your management, obey the rules and regulations of the company. Trust me, your stay in that company will be there for long, and your boss is going to take you on a very high esteem. Maybe sometimes he or she will not appreciate your every work, but they know what you are doing, what you are capable of doing, and they know that even if it's bad, they are going to see Vanessa, or yes, they're going to see Vanessa and help her in one way or the other. So these are little things I said. Let me inform my Cameroon sisters and brothers, my African brothers and sisters, that if you didn't know, you should know them, and thank me later. So this is the end part of my video. I hope you enjoyed every single part of it, and I hope I educated you on the necessary things you need to focus on while working so you don't get terminated. Please don't go without liking, sharing, or commenting. And also don't go without subscribing if you know you haven't subscribed to Nessa's Fantasy. I'll be seeing you guys again in my next video. Bye bye.